We'll find out. We're gonna do it.
Preparing to live stream the meeting. Nobody saw my chat.
We are live streaming, which is even funnier. So we're streaming right now. So this is live, which I don't know how we.
A video unavailable. This video is private. Go to home. Why?
Anybody's watching this, we're figuring this out. Thanks. Stay tuned.
No, it doesn't. It's not doing anything because YouTube isn't letting it do it. Oh, got it. Okay, so now it's going to do it by saying to me, you consent to being live streamed. Got it. It's now live. I'm Corinne Ropp, and
I'm Ash.
Oh, there we go. So we're both hypnotherapists, and we're also psychic intuitive. So we have no idea what to call this program that we've just started. This is the first episode. We've decided, we've done this a couple of years ago, not the same thing, but we decided, I guess we just decided to start it again because I think that we have a lot to say about different things. And we want to hear from people. We want to share with people what we have to say. So Ash, you're on TikTok and what else? Facebook.
Yeah. So mainly TikTok right now. I've been on there for 2 months. Just kind of promoting how to love yourself. Because if I could say anything, so if you're watching, my favorite thing to teach people is how to love themselves. And, because I think in the world right now, we are starved of self-love. We are full of blame, shame, fear, panic. And it's just, so the more that you can teach someone or help someone love themselves, that's exactly the world I want to be in.
For sure. Absolutely. So as hypnotherapists, we're helping people empower themselves all the time. And so, that's probably the number one thing that I get asked about is how do I get rid of that anxiety? How do I let go of stress? How do I figure out what's coming up next? And as a psychic, I get asked, what is next? Do I need to worry about different things coming up? And I'm sure that you get those same kind of things as well. So every week we want to come on and we want to talk about, that was my dog that just showed up. Hey, Chelsea.
Chelsea.
The German Shepherd. Just showed up. She will do that. She's very intuitive as well. And she'll just sit there and hold space, which is what this is all about too. So if you see her, well, there you go. That just adds a little bit of dimension to this thing. But we want it to be classy but funny because humans are funny, and Ashley is the funniest person I know. Seriously, the funniest person I know. A little dark sometimes, but funny.
You gotta bring light to the dark. Oh, crash. Sure. Yeah, I'm always having to clean up my trucker mouth.
Yeah,
but
there we go. So there you go. But the biggest thing that we're going to work on is how to help you empower you. So I'm going to pull a card. Now I like using the Osho Zen deck. I've used it. I think my friend gave me this deck in probably 2001. So it's been a long time that I've had this deck. So I'm just going to take it. This is the deck itself. I'm just going to pull one card, and this is going to be something for you for the week. Oh, the Lover's card. So this here, you take a look at that, the beautiful heart, the Lover's card. So this is about the relationship either with yourself or with your partner. And so, so often we think that our lovers are, are responsible for our happiness. Nope. I'm going to say one thing. This card always brings me to this one statement: 100%. 100%, that brings into the relationship. So 100%, 100%, you have 100%, they have 100%, and you form this beautiful relationship. And if you did it that way and you did it like that, it's the heart. Isn't that interesting how that happens? So that's also the same for you. You yourself, the yin and the yang, that male and female part of you, being in harmony, being in balance with yourself so that you can actually live your best life, so that you can, feel that love. Because a lot of times people are sending us love, but if we're not able to receive it, that becomes a problem.
That is a problem. That's actually a huge part, because that is and also if you do not receive love, you limit the capacity to allow someone to give it to you as well as receive. And so the flow, like, when you ever give someone a gift, the ability to give them that wonderful feeling, like they're so thankful, they're so grateful. Imagine if they were telling you how much of a pain in the butt it was to give to you. Imagine if they say this was such a burden, and then that's what is part of the dynamic. You can't breathe without inhaling and exhaling. And so you have to inhale just as much as exhale. What card do you see now?
No, I was just taking the Osho Zen, what Osho says about this card. He goes, if you can become aware and alert, meditative, then sex can be transformed into love, which so often people think sex and love are the same thing. And if your meditativeness becomes total, absolute, love can be transformed into compassion. Sex is the seed, love is the flower, compassion is the fragrance. So when you look at that whole completeness of love, so, there isn't love plus meditation allows this whole thing to be very complete. It's not just about desire. It's not just about physical. It's emotional, mental, and spiritual. And I think sometimes we forget that as a human race. Anyway, so the Lover's card is the first card that comes up in this arena too. So what's exciting about that is, as Ashley is my daughter, so there is that combination. Or maybe I'm the daughter. I'm just kidding.
No, I'm the mom. Exactly, right? We look more like sisters.
We'll talk about past lives too, because we have something, probably next week we'll talk about past lives, because past lives is something that are really an interesting art form. But if I pulled another card this week, the other thing is going with the flow. And so too many times we attempt to swim upstream and we get tired. Don't you think? I would get tired if I'm swimming upstream for any length of time. So this week, really focus on your relationships with yourself and those that are important around you, as well as going with the flow, not always swimming upstream. Any comments, Ash?
Oh, so saying like even adding the Lovers, I was going to say the Kundalini. The Kundalini is another form of the chakra work. So it's funny, when you are in alignment, when you are centered and grounded, you are able to receive love so much more. So like, for example, when you come home from work and you had a rough day at work and your kids had days and your partner had days and, family has days. And if you are not able to give yourself what you need to handle what you dealt with, you're only going to unload that on everyone else when you get home. And then everybody goes, what just happened? What happened? Why did this happen? And the thing is that we will often pass off our garbage in a way, like it's a dump truck. We dump it off. But the truth is that if we give ourselves what we need in that moment. So say, for example, if you say, hey, I just had a rough day. I need 5 minutes to just regroup and I'll be right in to see you. Or if you give yourself what you need in that moment so that you can be more present for your family, for that example, then that I think is what is awesome about it.
No, for sure. Absolutely. Figuring out what it is that you need and just taking a few seconds or a few minutes to give yourself what you need before you give to your family again is also really important, for sure. So, when I think about the world today, like Ash, when you think about the world today and when you're out and about, and what is kind of the feeling that you get from people that are in the grocery stores or that are out and about with you? Do you get a certain feeling from them, or even from your clients? Have you noticed anything shifting over the last little while?
Yeah, there's a big shift coming. Like everyone can feel it. Like these fires. So we're in BC, so we're in British Columbia, Canada. So we are by the fires, and we're also noticing. And so I noticed with people, when we had any natural disaster or anything going on, people are more willing to help out another.
Yeah.
When right now I feel like it's funny, people, since COVID, I noticed people don't talk to each other. People basically go to the grocery store, they get their stuff and they leave. And now people are kind of talking to each other. I talk to anybody I can whenever I can. Like, I love that expression. I never met a stranger because I'm always like, oh, hey. Oh, and like, and I'm tall, so I always help people if they're short. But what I find is that what vibration I'm at, I always find that energy around. And also I find that when I can be a support to raise the energy of those around, that actually supports that. Like, I love making the cashier smile. My favorite thing is I've loathed self-checkout. Do you know why? Because you do the wavy wave and the washy wash, and either it comes in like through times or doesn't get scanned, or like, like the row. I always say to cashiers, like, you will never be replaced in my opinion, because you like there's something about just experiencing human connection while doing such a mundane thing. Like, we cannot replace humans. And like, that's
no,
the
we
thing.
cannot. Absolutely not. We cannot replace humans for sure.
And and it's just nice. Like, I love seeing the old people. Anytime you see an old person in a grocery store, just say hello. I mean, they may yell at you. Okay, I'm not gonna say this. I may not, because they might get away.
That's right.
Like, why do you want,
lady?
Right, exactly. But I am like a nice, happy looking person, so I always like, oh, hello, how are you? Because old people, what I love about them is they're from that culture where it was always accepted. I mean, they are so nosy. Let me tell you, they're always like, what do you have to? but like, they're the kind of people that you could just say hi to. But maybe I just have an affinity with old people, because I feel like these young people.
I think you should change that old people to older than you people.
Okay, yeah, you are so right, because I'm eating crow because I have a teenager.
Yeah, you're not always so politically correct.
Okay, that's what I said. I'm the crass one. She's the PC one. I'm the one who's always like, it's like I can wear pearls, but that's as far as I get, right? Because sometimes I get a little extra. But I know, because I'm getting to the 40-year mark.
Oh yeah,
and,
40. I remember 40. That wasn't that long ago.
I know, and I used to realize that I'm 40, and then my kid will be 18. Like, you just think to yourself,
yes,
time marches on, and things are changing. But here's the thing: in the 50s, they said that the kids in the 60s were going to ruin the generation, and the 70s and the 80s. So we've always been saying, like, the younger generation. But no, I have faith that we're going to there's some awesome things coming. I have a sense that there's some big things coming. I don't think we're going to have like what we did with the truckers, with the convoy. I don't think that's going to happen again. But I do have a really strong feeling that people are going to stop giving into the corporations.
Yeah, that could very well be.
I really hope so. Because you know what? It's not, we could go after the government. Okay, this will get a little polarized, and I hope it, but I'm going to say this real quick. We can go after the leaders, but here's the thing. It is not the leaders. The leaders are on a string, and it's actually the backdoor closed buildings. What's going on in the behind closed doors with all the money? That is the source of the problem. It is not, because do you notice, I'm going to say this, okay? Do you notice that the puppets are really kind of dumb? The two biggest puppets are really dumb. Like, one's an actor, and the other one looks like it's like,
he's another actor. Are you kidding? He's a drama teacher.
No disrespect to those men. I'm going to say your job probably created it, and it's probably been systemized that way, but it's like, I don't know.
We're not going to get political here.
Well, no, but the point, you're right, but the point is that it is easier to blame them and distract us to them and to what they're doing. And in fact, the more ridiculous they seem, the more we focus on that instead of the real problem.
No,
and that is what I can see, and I want to support others.
Yeah, there's a lot of distractions going on right now. Let's go look over here, but really they're doing something over here. And I think that that's where awareness comes into play. Like, we do meditation class every Monday night. I've done meditation class. It's called the Sacred Nest at 7:00 Pacific Standard Time. I've done that since 2004. So
online.
And it is
Online.
online and it costs $20. So it's not even expensive. But we do a beautiful meditation. If you join the Sacred Nest, which isn't any different in pricing, you actually get the recording. That's the kind of the cool thing. So if you commit to doing for a whole month, you get the recordings in your inbox too. So that's kind of a cool thing. And then you get a reading for the week as well. So the reason I bring that up is because meditation, being able to quiet the mind, being able to relax your mind and allow your mind to be put into a space of protection, because right now we're being hypnotized into believing certain things. And I think if we actually stop and are aware of what's going on, we can protect ourselves much better than just by going with the narrative that they give us. Just because they say it, just because it's online, doesn't mean it's true. And that's the thing to pay attention to, is that just because it's there doesn't mean it's true.
It's funny. I just want to point out those laser beam things. A friend of mine on TikTok debunked it. All those three, there's like these laser beams, like the government is laser beaming. If you haven't seen, those are all pictures from much earlier in history. And so they have been but there's a few, but the thing is that I just want to just point out the obvious. Okay, there is extremes. There's those who are saying like the government's totally responsible, and those that are saying no, it's not at all. But there's somewhere in the middle, there's the truth.
That's kind of like the vaccination kind of thing, like, or really it's about distraction. Be aware and understand what it is that you're about, and you'll actually see what it is that you're meant to see.
100%. But and it's like, it's always about, just because you see it, anything you see, just because you see it, look deeper. When you look deeper, you give yourself, you find out, and that's the way you can always know, and not someone fooling you. And always keep digging. And again, you say, well, did you take a nap, or did this or that? But the reality is that we are needing to control our own thoughts. And see, with working with us, we put in the suggestion in every single hypnosis session I do, I put in the suggestion that no one, including myself, will be able to hypnotize you without your consent. And I'm just going to put the suggestion in. If you want to believe that suggestion, you just take a deep breath and you say, no one in this world will be able to hypnotize me without my consent. And you can do that, because here's the thing. Your subconscious is so powerful, so incredible. Your subconscious is doing so many things at one time. Just like, I love to prove that, like, take this pen, like, I know I'm dropping it, but I will catch it. And if something does drop and I didn't know, I'll catch it, because your subconscious is always aware of what's going on.
Yes.
And so that's why when you get those intuitive thoughts, or those thoughts of like, something's not right, because your subconscious is going, hey, warning, warning. And so it's so good to listen to that, because it's your subconscious telling you something. That also could be triggers. So, I always say fear and bravery, or courage and stupidity look the same. It's always, that's why it's always like intuition or stupidity. What is it? But anyhow, I digress.
Yes.
But go ahead.
As she just said, she's a hypnotherapist. We are both clinical hypnotherapists, which just means that we help people, again, empower themselves to be their most authentic self, let go of anxiety, helping to quit smoking. Yeah, we kind of do that too. But really, it's about anxiety and living your best life so that you can be aware of what's actually going on in your life, and not waking up at 60 years old going, wow, where the heck am I? What happened? And I have a lot of that too. Also dealing with trauma, different traumas. So many times we can deal with trauma at a subconscious level, which is quite amazing to be able to do that. So every week we're going to be here with a different topic. So I think next week we're going to talk about past life regression. It's usually going to be half an hour, might be longer. It really depends. Past life regression. I've had quite a few past lives. I am what they call an old soul. And it's interesting when you start to take a look at past lives and realize that they don't even exist. And we'll explain all of that next week as well. how easily these different lives can affect this lifetime, and why doing any work with past lives is a good idea with a qualified therapist. So, Ash, is there anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah,
Oh, yes. Okay.
I just pulled a
Surrendering.
card. I was like, I just want to pull a card. So, because here's the thing, we were starting out, but the thing with my mom and I is that we love to always give value and give you something to look forward to. So this is the homework for today. Surrender to your soul path,
That's perfect.
which is fitting to your life's journey has been perfectly designed for your soul's growth. Embrace every lesson and every moment. And so one thing I'm going to add that's going to finish up this one, and you as well, and add to, and then add into one, is that everything major that's going to happen in your life, like all the big stuff, is already predestined. Call me now. I have no science or sources to back that up. That's a personal belief system that's been proven in my own experience. Because here's the thing, when you take the lesson out of the experience and you take the sting out of the bite, you actually start to realize that your soul is meant to experience things, go through things, shift through things, because that is why we're here.
Yeah, we didn't come here for comfy, cushy, cozy. We came here to learn, to grow, and to evolve as a spiritual being, not as a human being. Like, we think we're a human being having a spiritual experience. You're a spiritual being having a human being experience. And so many of us have that so confused with human being as a human doing. It's like, oh, what am I going to do? So you're always going to find little tidbits of information, because we're flying off the cuff quite a bit at the time, because it really depends on what is going on in the world and what comes into what's being channeled through us, because that's a lot of what's happening, is that we're channeling. And so next week, we're going to talk about past life regression and how to do it, when to do it, what's the reason to do it. What are some of the things that are going to support you when you do a past life regression with someone who is qualified, not to tell you what your past life was, but to actually clear the emotional attachment that is affecting this lifetime? There's no point in just knowing that you were the Queen of Sheba. Seriously, no point. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. If you lasted this long, I love, like and share our YouTube channel. I know people say to do that all the time. I always do, but
share and subscribe. That's what
and
the kids
subscribe,
say,
and then you'll know when we're having our next one, which is going to be every week. So for now, have yourself a great rest of your day, and thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks.